Hi there, welcome to Dogecoin Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. If you're new to my sessions, here are the free takeaways you can expect from my sessions. So let's start with the weekly chart of Dogecoin. So Dogecoin had a little bit of pump from the bottom, but then this week it has returned to somewhere it started. From the weekly chart perspective, it's still within the accumulation cycle, and it's basically still going through a test that hasn't been finished. So whether it's going to end somewhere above this white line, the bottom edge of the long-term playground zone, around 14 cents 20. Okay, so this box, basically this line is sitting somewhere above the sign of strength set back in 2022 October, as well as the automatic rally, July 2024. I should set this lower instead, but as of this moment, I'll get the tidying up or housekeeping done after I finish the session. But basically, what I was trying to say is that this test may not have finished, and if it finished above the white line, like what happened during the selling climax and the second test, that's totally fine. But for accumulation, there is a stage called spring, meaning it's a price level that's lower than the selling climax. So that happened back in here. I haven't tagged the spring over here. It's after the second test. You can add it over here now. And likewise over here. And even after the spring, there can be prolonged period of test like this. Alright, so it's not just a one-time event and then we'll go to the next distribution cycle. Sometimes if the environment doesn't help, then the accumulation will lengthen. Okay? When looking at this, it reminds me of the chart of ICP that we just touched on, we just discussed in the last session. I hope this is not what that is, okay? Because that means a longer accumulation. So here, while it's still developing, and like I said, in an accumulation, things can go very long, longer than our patience can endure. And sorry, I just want to clean this up because it is darkening the things. Okay, no, this has been cleaned up, so it's fine, because I noticed this is not bright enough. So the orange key level, that's what I was trying to point to, is that if it bounces and try to show us another sign of strength, which the last one challenged this orange key level of 30 cents, that's something we hope to see. If the current negative sentiment or the uncertainty around the market, and also maybe the year-end tax preparation is going to finish, we would eventually see that get to this point. Not that if we're going to see it immediately, we may have to wait for a little longer. Just one more thing. This white line, I don't think there is much effect, but I'm drawing this over here anyway, in case it is being the resistance of the sign of strength or whatever rebounds or bounces that's going to come. So from the big picture point of view, while we are expecting more tests, sideways trading, there is a bit of a chance that a spring will develop instead of just a test. Alright, that you can consider that a final shakeout before the next distribution, assuming Doge is going to continue. Okay, and going to the daily, we're seeing the price continues to drive slightly downwards, along this downtrend that I've drawn a couple of sessions back. Just that this time, it has basically challenged the ceiling, went a bit above it. So we have to adjust the box a little, because this means the previous box, while is telling us where the boundaries are, it can go wider, and when it went a little bit wider, it's time we adjust it. So next time when the bounce happen, it sets our expectation how far that challenge can go. Alright. So after adjusting the box, what's the potential breakout timing? Look at this white line that we talked about in the very beginning. That's crossing the ceiling of the box around November 27th. That's roughly a week and a half from now. If the price continues to trade along this triangle, okay, eventually you will get to the point, a decision point, where it's confirming whether the downtrend will continue towards this blue line. This blue line is set by the October 10th event, and also further back in summer 2024. Alright, if this accumulation cycle is really going to that deep, this blue line at around 10 cents or 9 cents 97, it's where the current spring may end up at. The October 10th has indicated that's possible. Not that I hope to see Dogecoin going below this 14 cents line again. I hope it can find support around this level and eventually break out of this downward channel. When that happens, even if it's trading sideways, it's still a better sign than continuing along this downward channel. One positive sign that has already happened is that it has moved from trading at the lower half of the channel to the upper half. Okay, and it seems like it's the trend, the slope or the rate of change has relaxed. Previously it was pretty steep, and now it's flattening a bit. So both are good signs that it may eventually stabilize around this level, even though it may challenge the white line. Okay, so we have touched on this November 27th, 28th, the first opportunity from now to then in less than 2 weeks time for Dogecoin to break out. That's a relatively positive scenario. The pessimistic scenario is that it will challenge this blue line over here, and if it really continues with this downtrend, okay, the box crosses the blue line around middle of December, so there's still almost a month to go. If this fails, if this opportunity is missed and the price continues to trade south, by middle of December, there's another chance for Dogecoin to break out of this downtrend. Alright, so let me bring us back to the weekly and see what I have missed, if any. Yep, I think that's probably all for Dogecoin. Still at the mid-late stage of accumulation. There's still a slim chance for a spring to happen. Let's say I'll reallocate this. There's still a 10% chance for spring. While we're hoping for a sign of strength to happen, the more tendency right now is higher chance for it to exhibit sideways with a little deeper dip lower, much like what happened during October 10th. Okay, so let's hope no more bad news coming out and it won't go to a spring, but you know what to expect in the worst case scenario, that it can challenge quite low a level that has been proven on October 10th. That also was what happened back in summer 2024. So not like very far back in history. Thanks for joining me